Final 15 seconds, Joyce just trying to keep that head on the move. Zhang, nice and loose, pops out his lead right, steps in, massive right hand from Zhang, and down goes Joyce, and he is not going to get up from this. The referee gets the count of 8, and Joyce is still down on her knee, and Steve Gray waves it over. What a shot from the Big Bang! That was genuine, raw Chinese power, and in the blink of an eye, the fight is over.
A huge right hook come out of nowhere. Joyce slumped forward on his hands and knees, went flat on his front. As soon as the referee started counting, you knew he wasn't going to beat the count. Managed to get to his feet, but the referee rightly waved that off. And what can I say, Cole? What a finish there. Zhang always looked dangerous with the left hook, straight lefts, and that big right hook, and he landed it there in the third.
Well, he found his range in the second round, didn't he, Zhang? And he was able to do what he wanted, because there wasn't enough coming back from Joyce. No head movement, which we asked for, and he was too static, and he was too slow and cumbersome. He was just sitting duck in there at times, and it was a matter of when Zhang decided to throw and go for it. As soon as he decided to do it, it's almost he could do it whenever he wanted, and the power was devastating. It detonated on the channel. I think it was a right hook at the end, a left cross, followed by a right hook. He's a quality fighter, Zhang. Take nothing away from Joyce, because he's in there with a guy who can put these shots together. He looks explosively dangerous.
What Zhang did from the first fight, where he peppered him with lefts, he said, this time, once I've got you in range and I've timed you, I'm going to hit you as hard as I can. He was loading up with those lefts, and that right hook was extraordinary. What he did this time, Joe was outmatched by this guy twice in a row here. Zhang was right. Have to say, Joyce is a guy who Zhang's number has.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, what Joyce done was there, tactically, first round, he seemed to have it right.
But he never got his respect.
Yeah, let me finish. He's moving the head, he's doing what he had the right idea, but he couldn't do it. So what Zhang done, he had the adaptability. Joyce was leaning away from the left hand, but he set himself up for the right hook, and that's exactly what happened. So Joyce fell into the trap again. I spoke to Sean George at the press conference, and I said to Sean, what do you do here? What are you expecting from Joyce? He said, listen, we know what Joyce is going to do before he does it. And that's exactly what happened there.
He just went through the gears ever so slightly, didn't he, Zhang? He only just stepped it up a level and just started to close the range and put shots together. So there was so much more to come from Zhang. So you just feel that Joyce was never going to win that fight, and I don't think he's ever going to beat Zhang. He's just too good for him, and the limitations that we've seen through Joyce's career right up until this point, they've been exposed in the last 2 fights, and it's devastating for him, really, because he really does love the sport. He's a real trier. Just watching on the screens here, he's on his back foot, Joyce. He takes a big right hook just on the side of the chin, and he just crumbles to the canvas, and that could be the last we see of Joyce.
Cole, that's what I wanted to ask you. The million-dollar question here is, at 38 years of age, where does Joyce go from here? Can he come back from that? Because that was a devastating knockout. You know, some fighters don't recover from knockouts like that, and at this stage of his career, I'm worried for him.
Well, listen, he was hurt in round 2, badly hurt. He was shaken to his boots, and he sat down on that stool, and the corner knew they had a job to do with him, and he never recovered. And the finish there that came at the end, towards the end of round 3, I mean, Zhang could have done that whenever he wanted, in my opinion. He was just timing it. He knows it's a 12-round fight. He's only in round 3. He's got out of first gear, stepped it up. As soon as he's connected, he's had that effect. This was almost a mismatch. Now you're looking at it. But the first fight, I mean, he was took out in a similar manner. I know his eye closed, but he was getting caught with them shots. Now his punch resistance seems to be gone, and that's why I think that could be the last we see of Joyce.
I can't disagree with anything that you're saying there, gentlemen. That was absolutely devastating. I know that obviously there's going to be people saying that Zhang is Joyce's kryptonite. That fella's a problem, and I'm talking about for them all. He's a big unit. He's 20 stone. He's technically sound, and he can crack.
He just moved into number 4 in the world tonight, didn't he? Am I wrong?
Absolutely. Do you know what he's got though? Do you know what he's got, Zhang? He's not just a big, heavy,
He's technically
heavyweight.
good, mate.
He's technically good. His boxing IQ is another level. He sets traps. You don't see heavyweights setting traps. You see heavyweights trying to land big shots. Zhang doesn't do that. He works it out, and he's done a great number there.
It's the official time, 3 minutes 7 seconds of round number 3. Your winner by way of knockout and still WBO interim heavyweight champion of the world, Big Ben Zhang.
Zhang getting the job done, stopping Joyce, knocking him out in the 3rd round. A truly devastating right hook landed on the whiskers right at the end of the 3rd round.